The EDC junkies and the gear gurus are lying to you. Welcome. How we doing? That's what we're going to talk about today. Is we're going to talk a little bit about gear and why the gurus of gear reviewers and gear junkies and prepper gurus, why they're lying to you about a lot of the gear we use. This might rustle some feathers, but it's still going to be fun anyway. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, so the gear gurus and these preppers that buy once, cry once, that phrase that they say, buy the best, and then you only have to buy it once, and then you only have to. In some ways, I beg to differ, and to some degrees, I agree. Some equipment is definitely better than others, but as an example, my EDC flashlight, I just got this new one. It's the Olight Arcfeld. I know some of you don't like Olights, but it's a good light. It's so far it has the light, it has the green laser, and then it has a UV. It's not IR. It's UV. So it's a good light so far. But it's a little bit more expensive. It's not obviously not the Surefire stiletto quality, but it's an excellent flashlight so far. I haven't had any problems with it yet. Haven't had it for very long, but haven't had any problems with it yet. But the one I was carrying for a long time, it's a $50 flashlight. And yes, it's Streamlight. Streamlight is definitely quality, but it's only $50, and it's about the same size. Not much bigger. I just lost the clip, and I had to just keep it in my pocket. But this thing, for half the price of this thing has gone through my washing machine at least twice. And I've dropped it, from reasonably high locations, and but it still works like a champ. I just lost a belt clip, so I had to just put it in my pocket, and it kind of got annoying in my pocket. So I was like, needed a new one, and I have a tool truck that comes in, and they let me make payments on them. So I, cool, a new EDC light. But this one for $50. Yeah, that may still be a lot for a flashlight, especially when you can get something like this little cheap little few dollar flashlight that it works. It does it lights up when I push the button. See, it works. So quality in this case, obviously, will this work? Absolutely. You can get 15 of these for the price of one of these. But these take batteries. You've got to have your batteries in them and whatnot. But the thing I'm saying is the Surefire stiletto. I don't have one of those. Those are like $250 or something like that. But for half that, you can get one of these that. And I know some of you hate Olights. I get it. But for even less than that, you can get you a Streamlight Macro Stream. They even have the Micro Stream that's cheaper and smaller. That and it's Streamlight. It's a very good quality flashlight, but it's half the price, if not less than, and these things, like I said, this thing has gone, see, there goes again. This thing's gone through the ringer, like I said, the washing machine at least twice. I've had this thing for years. I was trying to change it with this one, the ProTac 2.0, but it's just way too, it's freaking huge. You can't put that in your pocket. But this is a good put in your bag light. And the problem with this one is it's proprietary battery, so it's you can't just get your CR123s or whatever. This one is chargeable, and it has the CR1, the smaller CR123 style. I think it takes two of those. But this one is charger only. It's got the little magnet charger on the back of it. So there's goods and bads about all of them. But do you really need the most expensive flashlights to, buy once, cry once, pay $50, buy once, cry once. You can buy 2 of these. You can buy 4 of these for a surefire stiletto. And these things you'll never have to buy another flat. You can put one in your pocket, one in your bug out bag, one in your day pack, one in your car, and boom. So buy once, cry once. Or for the same money, buy once, but buy 4 of them, and now you've got 4 of them, because that little teeny little flashlight has lasted forever. Or you could just say, you know what, I'm cheap, these work. I can buy 50 of these for the price of a good. I mean, but obviously there's no clip. It's not a good EDC light, but it's good to throw in your kid's camping backpack or something, because it works, does the job. But yes, there's such thing as cheap junk, and this is very, it is very inexpensive and very cheaply made, and you can tell. But does it work? Would it get the job done if you had to? If you had like, I mean, it's lightweight, weighs next to nothing. So if you put 2 or 3 of these in your bug out bag and some extra batteries, you could get by. But I guess, I'm not necessarily advocating for cheap junk, but do you need like the best? Like when you've got a $50 Streamlight, and Streamlight's a heck of a good brand. I like Streamlight. I was hoping for another Streamlight. He did have, after I bought this, he did have the Streamlight Wedge, but it didn't, it just has the single light. I don't know what all it does, but he had these, and I got one of those. And then we're talking, and then we want to step up to like knives. And like I said, this isn't the best knife in the world, but I've got a couple of these. It's the Gerber Strong Arm. I've got a couple of these. This one's obviously brand new, never been used. And I've got one just like it on my chest rig, also brand new, never been used. These are, these range, they're going up. I think they're closing in on $100 a piece. If you get the real one, if you buy them on Amazon, you got to be careful, because they like to sell fake ones. But then you've got the next up, which is about half the price. You've got the SOG Tellus, and this is a heck of a good knife. It's full tang. It's held its edge. I haven't used it a ton, but I have used it, and that's a good way to cut a finger off or something. My hands are slippery today for some reason. Dropping flashlights, dropping knives. But anyway, I mean, would this get you buying this would last you a long time. I mean, it's, let's see, what's the metal? It's Cryo 440. So, I mean, it's not the best steel in the world, but it's definitely not the worst either. There's way worse steel. And this is half the price of the Strong Arm. Yeah, I love the Strong Arm, and it's not even the most expensive out there. But I have 2 of them that are brand spanking new that I've never used, and I know if something ever happened and I had to go and I threw on my chest rig and my bug out bag or something, and I'd have 2 of those on me. I wouldn't need another knife. I wouldn't need to be worrying about that. I'd even get a couple of these. These are excellent. It's not quite as big as I mean, it's close. I mean, if you're comparing the 2 together, but these are obviously not something you carry as like EDC, but the Strong Arm's a little bit bigger, but that's been an incredibly heck of a knife. I mean, for the little bit I've used it, I mean, you can obviously tell I don't use fixed blades very often, only like when I'm camping or doing something like that, and I don't really have a whole lot. The next one is also Gerber, and it's half the price as well, but this is the Gerber Principal. It's a little smaller. I have EDC'd this one. I don't know if you can tell that it's been used, but I did EDC this one for a little bit. I just don't think, but with the sheath and all that, fits in there nicely, but I just don't like having too much stuff around my belt, and it kind of gets in the way. And trying to, it's with the way the sheath is, it's you can only grab it right here on the tip of the blade, and it's. But I did EDC this one for a while, and I don't like to EDC fixed blades. That's just my preference. If you want to EDC a fixed blade, heck yeah, fixed blades are heck of knives. You can obviously see I keep them, but I keep these more for like camping bags, bug out bags. Maybe keep one in the door panel of the car or truck or whatever, and then I've got a good fixed blade knife in the vehicle. Keep one maybe in my toolbox or whatever, but But do you need to have the top of the line? No, that Gerber Strong Arm is, and I know both of those are actually the real thing. They're not phonies. They're not. I bought them from the actual store, paid full price from the store, didn't buy them from Amazon or anything. So I know they're the real thing. So it's not like they're not the cheap ones, but that'll get me by. You don't have to have the best. You don't have to do the buy once, cry once. I don't necessarily buy into that. But if you buy a couple, if they're cheap, and you buy a couple and you find out it's garbage, well, you've still got a brand new one because you've used one, and then you go out and buy another one. But yeah, I get the buy once, cry once thing to some degree, but do you really need to have like the best? Because I know I'll never have to buy another fixed blade knife, even if the end of the world happens. With having two of these that are brand spanking new, never even been used, I don't need another. I don't need to buy another fixed blade knife for that reason. And then if you go with the other one, and that is made in America, which is excellent. So is this principle. Gerber has a few made in America knives, and this one, as you can see right there, made in USA, Oregon. With this and this and two of those, I don't have to buy. I don't ever have to buy another fixed blade knife as long as I live. And because the amount I actually use them, and for the quality that they are, even if the end of the world comes along right now, I'm good to go on fixed blades. And then on EDC knives, this is the one I carry, which is it's the Benchmade Shootout. It's very lightweight. It's plastic. It's very good knife, and this thing has stayed sharp. I've never had to like sharpen it. And this is my EDC. I use this thing every single day. You can see it starting to kind of rub off right there, and right there from the use. I use this thing on a day. I don't just carry it every day. I actually use this thing every single day. Belt clips rubbing off, and I've carried this thing for 3 or 4 years. But I bought it from one of the box store corporation type stores, and this was before I knew what Benchmade. They still make a quality piece of equipment, whether you like the company or not, whatever, for whatever reason. It's a heck of a knife. It's an OTF, the Shootout. But sometimes I can't find it. I go to my next in line would be my CRKT Hijinks. Not even close to the price of that. And this thing is probably sharper than that Benchmade right there. And it doesn't look like I've used it much because it is my backup. I bought it off Snap-on, so I paid too much for it, but it's been a heck of a knife. I have used it. You can see, I have carried it. You can see some wear on it. If you look closer, you can see some wear on the blade, but I've used this, and if I can't find this, or if this is like somewhere, oh crap, I can't find it. What did I do with it? This is my next go-to, the Hijinks. They don't really make this one anymore, or if I can't find it, if they do, but they've got some others like it. But this is my next in line go-to. Like I said, it's a CRKT. budget friendly, excellent piece of equipment. And again, this in my backup, and I've got plenty more if I have to, but I don't have to. I'm kind of a knife junkie, so I've got way too many. Same with flashlights. I've got way too many flashlights. I'll never have to buy another flashlight again or a knife. I'm good on those. I may still buy some just because I'm a junkie when it comes to that. But there's just certain things that is quality better. Well, yeah, but is it worth $250 compared to maybe $50? I mean, is this that much better than this? I don't think so. I would carry this thing with me every single day and use it every single day, and I have. This was my carry knife before I got this one. And now it's my backup carry knife. So it's like I've it doesn't necessarily have to be the most quality thing you can find, the most expensive. Most expensive doesn't necessarily mean it's the best. I mean, maybe, but can you get by for long term? I could get by long term with this. It's good, it's heavy, it's solid, that's why I don't like to carry it as much, because it weighs probably 3 times what this one weighs. This one weighs like nothing. If they were cheaper, I would have bought a second one of those, but they're not. Benchmades aren't cheap, unfortunately. The good quality ones, and I bought that for that reason. It's like, you know what, I want to get a good knife, but does it have to be the best? No, there's, for the price, $250 at Sportsman's Warehouse. I mean, I bought it on their online. They didn't have it in the store, but I bought it online from their site, and then, but yeah, as I look around, there's easily triple that in Benchmade. Benchmade has knives that are easily $500, $600, $700, $800. But I don't see that as being necessary for a EDC knife. I mean, to have it, cool, yeah, that would be a sweet knife to have, but is it worth going out and buying it just to carry it around with you every single day? And, not really. Not when you can get a good, solid, heavy, I mean, it's almost as, when it's open, it's almost as stout as a fixed blade knife. I mean, that thing don't move. There's no movement in that blade either direction, this way. I mean, it's a good, solid, heavy duty knife that I would trust it. If I had to go to SHTF into the world scenario with this, I'd feel just fine. I wouldn't have to have top of the line gear. And then the last thing I have, and this goes with more gear than that. I mean, some things, like your backpacks and stuff like that, I would get a little bit better quality. Again, you don't need the most expensive, the top of the line. I don't think you need that, but excuse me. Sorry about that. I've had a little throat thing going on lately and been trying to take care of it. And it's getting allergy season, so it's kind of got the snivels a little bit. I'm trying not to sniffle too much. But another thing is, and this is just kind of an off the wall, more of a very nice to have, more of one of those better to have it and not need it. And this is probably top of the line right here. Is this Suntoe compass. It's the MC2. It's got the mirror. It's got the, this costed $70, which for being top of the line, $70 isn't really too bad. And I'm not saying it's the best, but it's arguably the best. You could argue both ways that this is, but it's got your little looking, or you look through right there, and it's got, it's got some of them. This whole ring will be glow in the dark, but this one, it's got some glow in the darks right here. And this is what I train with, what I practice with, what I keep around me, what I, it's got the little adjuster screw so you can adjust it for your magnetic north and all that. If you even know what I'm talking about. A lot of people don't know how to read a compass and a map. I might do a tutorial on how to do that, and they're all over the internet if you want to learn. But if not, I've been thinking about putting on kind of a how-to. But then there's also this one costed $10. It does basically, it has, other than having the signal mirror, it has basically everything else. It's got the magnifying glass. It's got, your little things there. It's got your measurements right here. It's got, and if you compare it to the good one, your north, you can't really see it here, but your north are both pointing in the exact same direction. So this one works. It's not glow in the dark or anything, but it faces north just as good as the other one does. Just as good as this expensive one does. So, I mean, like I said, if this one has your little magnifier there. This one has even a bigger magnifying glass. Plus it's got whatever the heck those are for marking on your maps or whatever, but they both have your distance meters and so it's $10 from Sportsman's Warehouse, even a big box store, $10. Of course, it's throw that in your bag and boom, you're good to go. Put a little lanyard on it right there so you can carry it around your neck if you have to. $10. I've used this. I mean, you can tell it's kind of all scratched up and beat up and whatnot. I use this one a lot. It's like, I need a compass. I need just a cheap compass, and boom, there we go. Got a cheap compass. And then I was like, you know what? For not a whole lot more, top of the line, but what I'm getting at is, yeah, I have maybe the top of the line compass, but I use this one for a long time. And it still works just fine. It still faces north. It has your little ring that you turn to, it doesn't have the adjuster on it to adjust it for magnetic north. You got to kind of think that through a little bit more, but it's got, this will work just as well as anything. I've used this a lot and had it for a long time, and it still points north, or it points the same north that this one points. Has the same kind of grids on the deal. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be top of the line. Yes, I may be touting for cheap when I have top of the line, but on a budget, when the top of the line's under $100, you may as well. But I'm just saying, if you are on a tight budget and just need something, yes, I need a compass. Get you one of these. Like I said, $10 for that. That was like $9.99 plus tax. So like I said, it gets me by just fine. I could go out there and use that, and I could navigate my way to wherever I need to go with this just as good as I can with this one. So it's one of those things. You don't necessarily have to have the top of the line, like the industry, the gear industry, these gear gurus, these preppers, the buy once, cry once people. They're not lying to you. It is better to have the good equipment, but is it necessary? Is it like you won't live if you have the cheap ones, or you've got to? No, they're not. And that's why my name is poor man's preparedness, because I can't afford to go out and buy the most expensive gear out there. I can't do it. It's not feasible for me. I can't afford that. I've got a big family. I'm the only one that works in the house. And so my income is very tight because, between me and my wife, we have 6 kids, five of which live at home. We lost one to the real world, college. And, so she's off kind of on her own. So but we're down to 5, but still I only have my paycheck. So I don't have a lot of money to go and just spend on the most expensive gear out there. But by my experience, by my testing, by my situation, by my my use of the equipment, I don't need that. I'm fine with a $60 knife if I have to, a fifty to $60 knife if I have to. I'm fine with a $50 flashlight. I don't have to go out and spend a $250 on a Surefire. I'm fine with a $120 light. That's like $120. That's a lot of money for a flashlight, says me. It's like, do I really want to spend that much when I could get a Streamlight, which I like better anyway, for $50? I just did this more for, well, I've never used Olight before. So I've heard good things about them. I've heard bad things about them, but rather than going by what I hear, let's give one a try. So I'm giving it a try to see. Maybe I'll do some follow-ups on it, see how it's lasted. I've heard the bads and I've heard the goods. So we'll give it a try. And he lets me make payments on it. So it's like I didn't have to come up with the money right up front. So, but anyway, that's basically, that's the gear I got right handy to show you that, but that goes with lots of stuff, that goes with pretty much everything. You don't necessarily have to have the best. I mean, they'll tout buy once, cry once. They'll tout the idea that you've got to have the best. If not, you're going to die, or, stay away from that cheap junk, that cheap. Some of it is cheap. I'm not going to lie. Like how I was showing you this flashlight. Yeah, it works, but it's cheap. It's garbage. These are disposables, in my opinion. These are, okay, it quit working, throw it away. Even if batteries are out, time to toss it in the trash and grab another one, because these come in like a 20 pack or something like that for $10 or something like that. I don't remember how much it was, but it came in one of those packs of like 10 flashlights for $15 or what. I don't even know. It was, they're cheap, and they're obviously, there is such thing as too cheap, but they work. I mean, like I said, this one's been sitting for a while and it still lights up, but you have to have the best. I mean, yeah, this would get you by if this was the only flashlight you could take. It works. You just make sure you have extra batteries and stuff, and yeah, it will work, but you have to have the best. We can be on a budget and we can just buy just fine. Don't think that you can't. Well, because I can't afford the good one, I'm not going to be able to get what you can. If you can afford the Surefires or the K-bars or whatever the most expensive of whatevers are, then by all means, get the most expensive. I'm not saying don't get the most expensive. I'm just saying if you can't afford it, don't stress over it. Don't be like, I don't think that you can't make it because you don't have the best equipment out there. You can get by with cheaper-ish. You can get by with mid-grade, middle of the road, you can get by with CRKT or SOG or, Streamlight or Olight. Those are excellent. And I would go into SHTF battle or whatever with any of those brands. And I would feel plenty confident knowing that this could be the last knife I ever use, and I would be totally fine with it. You don't need to have the most expensive gear out there. Some things, yeah, you want quality, but anyway, starting to ramble. That's the video for today. Went a little longer than I was planning, but hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all stayed with me this whole time talking about gear. I could talk about gear forever, and it's just one of those things where you don't need the best. But anyway, what you do need the best is training. Get the best training you can possibly get. Have situational awareness. Carry a firearm. If you can't legally carry a firearm, carry the most effective thing you can carry legally. And always be aware of your surroundings and know the threat. Never underestimate your enemy. And do the YouTube stuff. Click the links below. Check out my other YouTube channels. Subscribe to those if you feel like it. and hit the subscribe button. Do the YouTube stuff. Appreciate y'all. Love you. See you in the next one.